All right. So, yes, I'm a woman of a certain age and I do not have children and I want to have some. I actually have embryos in storage that I have had since 2023. I had one transfer that was unsuccessful and I would like to have additional transfers. I was getting ready for transfer number two, dropped a whole lot of money on transfer number two, and had an issue where my lining was not thickening, and that cycle had to be canceled. And that was the end of my money because where I work does not assist at all with anything related to conception, which is unfortunate because I work with children. So I just find that ironic and unfortunate. And I just truly do believe that any profession that centers around having children should make sure or should be required to provide insurance benefits to assist people that have fertility issues. I got to think about how long it is that I have been trying to have children. I started out with IUI and that was unsuccessful. But after a couple of attempts of I remember the doctor that I was seeing at the practice I was at that time saying, I recommend that you use IVF. Now, of course, at that time I was having normal cycles and my hormone levels or what they needed to be and everything. I just wasn't in a relationship, so I needed help to conceive. But she worked at a group where the partners reviewed the cases to determine if they were going to actually accept you as a candidate for IVF. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of doctors, like even in the operating room, just having surgery and stuff, they are competitive with their statistics. And so with this particular clinic, they want to, I'm struggling over here, they want to accept people that I guess, because this was never told to me, but just it appears that they want to only accept people that would give them good statistics for success rates for IVF. Now, mind you, it's definitely about the protocols. I mean, it's about the person too, but they're going to always check your hormones, and check your hormones some more. And then they can adjust the types of medications that they have you use to, make the process more successful. That's really bothered me. But when I ended up having to see a different doctor at that practice for something else. And I was like, oh yeah, we discussed it and she thinks that, or she's told me that I need to have IVF. And he was like, oh really, did she? And I didn't like that because like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, that's my doctor. She's done my transfers. But I was kind of fed up with her anyway because the transfers, like a couple of them transfers were painful. And like, I called and the nurse was like, oh, just take some Tylenol, honey. This was more than Tylenol level. Like, this was crazy. And one time, I don't know, I would have got, that's a whole different story. But at any rate, so I applied for IVF at the time, but I did not qualify because of the amount of money I made at the time, plus the credit. Also, I don't know, did I have bad credit or was it just that I had a whole lot? I don't know. I definitely have made some credit mistakes before, which is a shame because my mama told me. But anyway, so I ended up not being able to qualify and I had just exhausted my personal funds for IUI because the price of sperm was going up. Okay, I was using my own eggs, but the price of sperm was going up for every year that was passing by. And there would be months in between treatments because I would have to build up my personal funds again. So again, and actually I can't totally say it was unsuccessful because I did get pregnant Um, definitely twice, but I think 3 times. Uh, but they were all miscarriages. My first miscarriage was at 5 weeks, and then I had one that I think was like super duper early, and then I had one at between 7 and 9 weeks, and then I had to stop. And so many years later, after selling my house, or around that time, I think even before the house was sold, I had made up my mind that I had gone to a local clinic. I didn't like their whole process. Like, you couldn't get any information until you paid to take a course where they talk to you about it. And then at that paid course, they would give you information and stuff like that. And like, their whole process, it just was so weird. But I don't want to go too far off into that because I haven't thought about that stuff in a long time, and I probably wouldn't even remember all the details. So after I sold my house, or I had a little bit of money that I wanted to set aside to do the procedure, to find an egg donor at this time, because by this time I needed an egg donor, and to find donor sperm. And I did. And why is that part of my hair so frizzy? And I did, and I found an egg donor, and I found a sperm donor. That was a whole ordeal within itself. Just when I was about to pick a different a different egg donor, one of the ones that I had been looking at actually came available, and I ended up going with her. And then it was time for me to buy a new house, and and then what is going on with my hair? And then by that time, I had realized I shouldn't have bought this house because I didn't really plan extra money to be set aside in case transfer number one didn't work, and it didn't. So again, it's been a couple years, almost 3, and I have these embryos waiting, and I want my babies. I don't mind being single. I don't long to be married anymore. I don't go out every day and be like, ooh, today I might meet my husband. But I'm rather today, maybe I will find an abandoned bag of money from somebody who really didn't need it anyway and wanted to give it away, and then I can use it to get my embryos transferred. I'm serious.